rented a car, drove the car to Mexico, but he had already arranged with the rental company that it would be getting returned back here in our state and the city closest to us. When he was off on his 3-week magical dental ride. So, supposedly, when he gets back, he calls her from the airport and goes, "The airport's not letting me return my rental car. I have to drive it all the way back to Arizona. And I'm going to need $600 for gas money to get from here to Arizona. By the way, from where we live, I drove to Vegas and back, and it didn't cost me $600 in gas. And I got a big old gas guzzler." He didn't. He had a little rental car, but he was going to need $600 for gas to get back to Arizona. And then she was going to have to get him a hotel there and then a flight to fly him back. Okay. Then follow this. I'm just going to name the cities: Arizona flight, Chicago flight, the East Coast, all at the last minute pricing, as well as hotel rooms, etc. She is paying for everything for this leech. You told us on more than one occasion that he only tells you small portions of stories. So to try to take the stance now that you know all is absolutely ludicrous, as you're still running your mouth about things that you have zero knowledge about. You asked me to mind my own business 2 months ago, to which I did. So why are you throwing out threats and bringing me into this? Acts of an adult acting like a petulant child, of course the reason. Although for the last 3 years you have been on an uphill swing, it does not change the other abhorrent behavior I have been exposed to since being married to your son. Let's begin with just my list. The cyclical behaviors of the past, or what I like to call the classic PAM moments. The statement you made on our wedding day about it being a man's job to take care of you, and if you don't have a man, then it's your son's job. I said you must be referring to Peter Pan, who by the way was 17 at the time, because my husband, Will, was a full-time college student at the time, so he damn sure wasn't in a position, nor should she have had those types of expectations on her son. Then again, you've always had a very peculiar idea of what your role is as a mother to Will or a grandmother to Pinto Cinco. You seem to believe you have the right to ignore our boundaries with our child. You have crossed the line multiple times when it comes to Pinto Cinco. Your behavior back in 2013 had us going low contact with you due to your prescription drug addiction. You faked ending life attempt in 2017, 2018. Why? Because R pissed you off. This used to be your go-to emotional blackmail tool on Will as well, until it stopped working. Per the stories you have told us directly from your own gobsmacker. Let's see, what do we have here? You have called CPS on R twice and T once. Why was that? Not because of concern for a child, but because you were mad at the parent and wanted to cause them trouble. Wow, with friends like you, who needs enemies? And you wonder why I'm sitting here wanting to make sure I protect my child? Of course I will, because you're vindictive, but you're passive aggressive vindictive, so people don't see it coming. You made sure to tell your son that you had the right to add some people to our guest list at our wedding. Whom did you invite? Will's ex-girlfriend. You remember, the one you made sure to tell me Will was supposed to marry. Roll forward a couple years, and you brought the same ex to my baby shower. Why? Because you said she is who you thought Will would marry. What the fuck, lady? Like literally, we went through IVF, all of this. I'm sitting there pregnant, and you're going to bring his ex because that's who you thought? But it got worse, and it was cruel what you did to her, because knowing what her feelings were, bringing her into that house to see that was absolutely cruel. You were just rubbing salt in her wound, which I wouldn't have never done to her because she's a nice girl. But I digress. What is worse is that I had to overhear you both in my kitchen. She was crying and you were consoling her. What was she saying? It was supposed to be me having his baby. And you fucking agreed with her. You fucking agreed with her in my house, in my kitchen, at my baby shower. Yeah, that's what your love looks like to me. The first 4 years your son and I were together, you went out of your way to ruin the holidays. You demanded that you were supposed to have your sons all to yourself until noon that day. Then they could include their family. When Pinto Cinco was in the 3rd grade, that'd be 8 years old, you called your granddaughter a pedo. Why? Because she helped a toddler pull their pull-up back on after going potty. But did you ever bring that to us? No. Now you happen to be at a family friend's house, And thank God she had cameras, because you went running to all the adults there telling them that you thought my daughter, your granddaughter, was a pedo. Luckily, they had a camera in that room. They pull it back. They watch the whole thing. My daughter didn't even know that toddler was in the room until the toddler finally said something. And what did my daughter do? She turned around and said, "Oh, do you need help?" And pulled up the pull-up. And you tried to put that nasty juju on the granddaughter you state you love. Wow. Love like that. I'd hate to see what your hate looks like. You brought it to the other adults at the location, and it was those adults who had to even tell us about the situation. Ooh, you then took my daughter home, mentioned 8 years old, and decided that you had the right to have the birds and the bees conversation with her, something that was not your right or your place to do. And you had already been told on 3 other occasions that that was not your place and to back the fuck off. You are not her mother. You will never be her mother. And you kept trying to stand in the role as if I was nothing but an incubator for her to hand to you so that you could raise my child. Was never gonna happen. So I have to wait 3 weeks from the date that I find out about the claim before we can get you to show up at our house again, so that I can confront you on what? That's right, on why you had the audacity to call my 8-year-old child, my little girl, a pedo because she helped a 2-year-old pull her pull-up up after she had gone to the bathroom. You sick fuck, does that make you a pedo because of every diaper you ever changed? Because that's literally the mentality you threw on an 8-year-old. You should be ashamed of yourself. Sorry, give me a second. I'm starting to relive it. I need to calm down. You never told us about it, and I had to confront you about it 3 weeks later. You first tried to deny that you ever called her a pedo. You then doubled down and said that my husband and I are off because we ordered pepperoni pizza. And you accused us of ordering some kind of schmeck slave because Facebook told you so. Bitch, when did Domino's turn into inappropriateness? We put up a post that we had had a long week and that we were going to be ordering pizza and watching a movie, and somehow that translated to your brain as in we were disturbing people in the whole schmexual trade. You sick fuck. It was Domino's pizza. I asked you why we were off. You said it was because we ordered the pepperoni pizza, and you accused us of ordering some kind of sex slave because Facebook told you so. Just in case anybody wonders, because this will come up later on, Facebook is her Bible currently. If she reads it on Facebook, then she 100% will start spouting it off, okay? And she apparently thinks that Google, instead of having .com behind it, has .md behind it because she is a hypochondriac that likes to self-diagnose herself with anything she can. Oh, I know, like 13 years ago when she was watching a Dr. Phil episode and decided to diagnose herself with brain lesions. Yeah, this is the shit I've been dealing with. Now, I will also say that a lot of this, I bit my tongue and did not tell my husband. So don't anybody come for my husband, because these are things that I bit my tongue on for the longest time because I didn't want to mess up their relationship. It was when she pulled this most recent bullshit that I just lost my shit, and 15 years worth of pent up frustration came pouring out through the dam. Straight up. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah. The secrecy. If your relationship is so great and wonderful, then why does everything have to be a secret? Love does not need to be a secret or hidden. If everything y'all are doing is so above board, then why in the hell do you expect us to keep everything a secret? Last I checked, good things are not meant to be kept a secret. Fuck, lady, you can't even get added to his Facebook. Hooking up with the man the night of May 11th because Leach left to go see Stepmommy on May 10th does not scream a loving relationship.